All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Ooh. Okay. Cool. So, I hope you guys had a good spring break. Anyone do anything fun? Guys just all kind of go back home and relax.
yeah, I got to go to Cancun though.
I'm jealous. Oh, I haven't been to Cancun. Been wanting to go though.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
fun.
was pretty fun. Nice.
Yeah, they got some
Cool.
clubs.
You what?
They got some good clubs there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Nice. Cool, cool. All right. All right, so today we are going to be talking about we're going to talk about what are we talking about? Chapter 14 today, which is going to be talking about Java FX stuff. You give me 1 second. Cool. Yeah, Java X. So before we get started, actually, I'm gonna share. Let's see. Okay. Um, where is it? So on IntelliJ, you gotta set it up a little bit um, for Java FX. It is a little weird. So okay. Um, so I'm gonna put something in the chat to where you can go download it. You go to that link and find just download the SDK. I'm on Windows, so I downloaded this one right here. Okay. And then once you do that, once you download that, it comes in a zip file, right? Like this is here, all this stuff. You're gonna take the folder that's inside the zip folder. Do you guys need me to slow down? Or are you guys able to? I don't want to leave anybody behind on this. Did everyone get it downloaded at least?
Yeah,
Okay. Everybody good for me to keep going?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. All right. So you got the Java FX SDK-24 folder inside the zip file. Um, you can really just put that anywhere on in your computer. You just put it in the C drive. That would probably be the easiest thing. Um, just drop it in your C drive, and then once you do that, we're gonna go here. You're gonna go to project structure. Uh, and you're gonna add new project library from Java, and then find wherever it is. You're gonna open the Java FX SDK folder and then click on the lib folder and then press OK. And once you do that, it should be up here. Okay. And then hit apply, press OK. And then you're gonna go here. And then we're gonna edit configurations. And this one, just save for later when we actually get to the coding. Okay. Um, yeah, everybody got, let's hold off on that. Everybody got it in the project in the project settings. Under project structure, go to libraries, press the plus, add the whatever, wherever you put it. Everybody good on that? Anybody not able to get there?
You said it's just the lib folder, right?
Yeah, just the lib folder, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Cool.
What was it beyond importing the library that you wanted us to do with the configuration?
Let's hold off on that, okay?
Okay.
All right, just make sure it's in the project structure, make sure it's in the libraries. Make sure you got this added. Give me a thumbs up if you did it, if you're at that point.
I'm trying to get it. I'm on Mac, so I think it's a little different, but I'm get it in a second.
Okay. Yeah, it should be similar. I don't know, unless I don't know how different it is, honestly, on Mac. But it should be this similar steps. Might just look a little different. Do you need me to hold off, or are you good for me to move on?
No, you can move on. You're good. I
Okay,
almost
cool.
got it. You're good.
All right, cool. All right, and let's get into it. Okay, yeah, so we will be talking about chapter 14, which is Java FX. Talking about GUIs, guided graphical user interface. Um, talking about the structure of Java FX, talking about stage and scenes, layout panes, CSS with Java FX, binding properties, and then some classes, and then we'll do some examples and stuff as well. Okay. Okay. So graphical user interfaces, uh, you'll see it referred to as GUIs or whatever, right? GUI, whatever you want to call it. So it provides a user-friendly interaction between humans and computers. Typically this is done through visual elements like windows, buttons, menus, icons, whatever. GUIs make software easier to use compared to command line interfaces because the users can interact with on-screen components instead of typing commands. Right. So, building Java GUIs require the use of frameworks, right? Creating GUIs in Java is not done by scratch. I mean, I guess technically, if you want to put yourself through the pain of creating your own framework and library, for GUIs you can, but there are established libraries and frameworks that handle window creation, event handling, and rendering of interface elements. Okay, so there's kind of a history. There's three major frameworks in Java's history and ecosystem. Okay, so and we'll talk about them in a little bit more in depth in the next slide. But AWT, or Abstract Window Toolkit, is the original kind of basic toolkit. Swing was built on top of AWT and provides more advanced and flexible components. And then Java FX, which is the current it's a more modern, richer framework for UI creation, animations, and some more. Okay. So Java FX is the most up to date, and it's officially supported toolkit for new Java GUI applications. Right. So give you, components like buttons, labels, text fields, menus, whatever. Event programming does graphics and media, like supports drawing shapes, applying transformations, and incorporating media like images, audio, video into applications. Okay. And yeah, we'll focus on the Java FX in this class and how to build basic applications with it. Okay. Any kind of initial questions about the GUIs or frameworks or anything? Okay. All right. So, yeah, Java FX was officially replaced. It officially replaced Swing and AWT for developing modern Java GUIs as of Java 8, which was released back in 2014. While Swing and AWT are older, they are still present in legacy code bases. But Java FX is now the recommended solution for new projects. So, when Java was first introduced in 1996, along with it came AWT. So AWT was originally bundled with the first version of Java's, right? And it really depended heavily on each platform's native GUI tools, leading to platform-specific bugs or kind of inconsistencies. It was fine for developing simple GUIs, but not ideal for large, kind of feature-rich applications. Okay. Swing came about to address AWT's limitations. This came out in like 1997, so not too long after AWT came out. It provides a more robust set of components rendered via Java code, right, which are lightweight components. And it's a little bit less reliant on each platform's native GUI resources, and which improves consistency across different operating systems. And this became the standard library for building GUIs in Java for many, many years until Java FX came in. In Java 8 in 2014. So Java FX, like I said, was introduced as modern, kind of fully featured replacement for Swing. And yeah, included in the Java 8, marking Oracle, the company that owns Java or makes Java, marking Oracle's shift towards Java FX as the default GUI toolkit. Yeah, can offer a lot more capabilities like 2D, 3D graphics, CSS styling, animations, even, and has a more modern architecture. Okay. And so why they did this was there's some benefits that Java FX has. It has more modern visual effects, animations, media handling, more consistent experience across platforms, had improved event handling and scene-based architecture, and then better separation of like UI layout and logic. And so, yeah, Swing and AWT applications continue to work, but new Java or desktop or internet applications should ideally use Java FX. Okay. All right, the basic structure of Java FX. Okay. So Java fx.application.application is the entry point for any Java FX app. Okay, so when we launch a Java FX application, usually by calling like application.launch or whatever, in the main method, the Java FX runtime manages a dedicated application thread. Okay, and this thread handles the application's lifecycle methods, including the start method. Handles user input events, rendering updates, and animations. And we do this by extending. By extending application, we gain access to the start method, which is where we set up our user interfaces. Okay, so okay, so in this public class first Java FX, and this is where you're going to run into your first problem. So if you import Java FX dot application, okay. Somebody type that in for you on your side of things and tell me if you get an error. Like it can't find it, right? Does that track? Somebody. Anybody got this set up yet?
Yeah, mine's defaulting to wanting to import swing.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's weird. But okay. Anyways, so this is the next part. So if you go to run here, okay, go to run, go to edit configurations, go to the one that you have, whatever it's called. You'll see a thing called, actually, you know what? I'll do this so you guys can see it. So I'm starting a new Java thing. I'm using JDK 24. That's probably what I'm recommend. But I think you can use like 22, 23, 22, 21, whatever. Just don't go too far back. You can try, but cool. So I'll create this new window. Okay. Import Java fx.application.application. Okay, so it's saying it doesn't know what it is. Okay. So let me go to the project structure. Let's go to libraries here. Let me add this library real quick like I did. Just gotta click the folder. Let's add it to the module. Okay, click apply. We're gonna go to edit configurations. We're gonna add one here, and we'll just do Java FX demo. Okay, and our main class is the Java should autofill right there. Okay. Now, in the build and run, if you see here, you'll see modify options, and you'll see a drop-down menu. Click on add VM options. Okay. You'll see a new text box come up. Okay. Then you're gonna take the thing that I posted in the chat, post it again in case you guys don't see it. Take that, copy and paste it here. And then where it says insert path to lib folder, go here, you're gonna find this You're gonna click into the lib thing, and you're just gonna copy that, and you're gonna paste it right there. Okay. Click apply. Click OK. And we're gonna get a main method in there. Okay. Now it's saying it doesn't know where it is. Okay. Are we all good there? And you can try to run it. You might get some warnings here, but we can just ignore those right now. Are you guys at this point? Did anybody get theirs to work?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I'm getting
Uh,
an interesting error. I'm getting it's saying that it couldn't initialize the boot layer and that it wasn't able to find the controls.
do you want to share your screen?
Let me try.
You should be able to.
Actually, I'll just send a screenshot of it. Unless, do you like need me to share so
I
you
mean,
can?
you can share. Yeah, just go ahead and share it up, okay?
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Sick.
Put I saw something pop up. Did you share your screen?
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, it was saying it needed a request.
No, you're good.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, go to the edit. Uh,
Oops, there we go.
okay.
Get the GUI out of the way. Give me a sec.
Yeah. Yeah, go to the what's it called? Yeah.
It's because I have double. It might because I have double quotes here. I just realized.
Yeah, it might be.
For some reason, my GPU is not liking this.
Um, go to your folder where it's at. Oh, it's got to be you gotta point it to the lib.
Oh, is that okay? I see.
Yeah, so
That's
yeah. Yeah, just add the lib
Okay.
/lib.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else having any issues, or we all good? to move on.
Mine is saying that I have a unsupported major.minor version. I'm not sure if that means my Java is like out of date or something.
What Java are you using?
It is. Let me check. I think it's like Tamirin 21. That's what it says. Yeah, Tamirin 21. Do you want me to share my screen so you can
Yeah,
see
go
it?
for
Or...
it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, if you're using 21, I think the minimum JDK is 22.
Okay.
You said you were using 21.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you might be able to get one of the older versions of it. Yeah, if you use like the 21 release, you might be able to use the minimum JDK for that one is 17. So Java FX release 21. This one right here.
Okay.
Minimum JDK is 17, and you should be okay using that one for now. We're not doing anything too crazy, I don't think. Should be more or less all the same.
Trying to see if I can find that one.
It should be on the same on that same page. Yeah. On that same page, just go to JavaFX version, just do 21.0.6. And yep. Download whatever one. SDK for whatever one you have for whatever one.
Okay, I
If
got
you're
you.
on Windows. Yeah, if you're on Windows, you should just do this one. If you're on Mac, just do this one.
Gotcha. I will
Cool.
grab that and see if it works.
Okay. All right. Anybody else having any issues, or are we all good? Thumbs up. Chase Emily, you guys good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, so Java application. Okay, so yeah, we are going to actually. So our main class here, our big class, we're gonna do extends application. Okay, and yep, you'll see it's throwing up something. And that's because we need to implement the start method. So we're gonna override. Okay, and we're gonna do public void start, and we'll do stage and primary stage. I think you can kind of call that whatever you want. We're gonna import stage, so JavaFX dot stage. Okay, which brings me to the next one. Yeah, so Java stage dot stage is the top level JavaFX container, right? The primary stage is constructed by the platform. So the Java FX dot stage represents a window, okay? So Java automatically creates the primary stage from the application start, and this is kind of where we place our initial scene. And we can actually have more than one of them, and I'll get into this, I think, in the next slide, but actually show you what else we can do. And so, yeah, we got the stage. And we're actually going to do... Okay. Extends application. Okay. All right. All right. So in here, this will kind of go towards the bottom. So primary, we can do primary stage set title. We'll do that, and we'll do primary stage show. And I wonder if this will actually. One other thing. The other thing, it might be needed, might not be needed. They do say there's a. Let's see. One second. So if you're running this from the command line, you don't need a main method apparently. But I think if you're running it inside a IDE, you do. Okay. But most of the time you're probably going to be running it inside of a thing. Okay. So yep, so I run it and we have our stage here. Opens up a window. You can resize it, it has our title up here. Has, the normal buttons that we have. We can minimize it, blah blah blah. All that fun stuff. Okay. But it's just empty right now. But we have a stage. Okay. So in the main method we're just gonna do application.launch and args in here. Okay. The scene. Okay. The scene javafx.scene.scene holds all the visual elements, also nodes. We'll call them nodes, or Java calls them nodes. So all the visual elements that make up a UI, right? So you can think of a scene as a scene graph, or a hierarchical structure of visual elements. So to display anything in the stage, we must attach a scene to it. Okay. And I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay. And then the java.scene.node is the base class for scene graph node. Okay. So it's the base class from which every visible item in the scene extends, like controls like buttons, shapes, text, containers, whatever you want. Scene graph is simply a tree of these nodes organized in a parent-child relationship, right? So for example, a button is a node, a label is a node, and layout panes like VBox or border pane are also nodes that contain other nodes. Okay. So putting it all together, the stage is your application window. The scene is the object that holds and organizes all visual elements. And the nodes are the individual objects like buttons or any other controls, layouts, graphics, whatever you want inside the scene. Okay. So here's kind of a diagram of it. So yeah, a stage has a scene, and a scene contains a hierarchy tree of nodes. Okay. Yeah, nodes can be the various things like shapes, controls. Kind of said that already. You have So under node, it's showing here pane. A pane in JavaFX is a specialized subclass of parent, used for positioning and managing child nodes. And I'll get into these in a couple of slides. And yeah, there's different kinds of layouts. You have UI controls here. And a control is a node that handles user interaction, such as clicking, typing, or selecting, right? You can have labels that display text that cannot be edited. You have text fields for text input. You have buttons that triggers an action when clicked. You have a checkbox, radio button, toggle button, whatever you want. Okay, and all these controls extend to java.scene.control.control class. Okay, we have some shapes. We'll talk about a little bit. You can draw lines, circles, ellipses, rectangles, polygons, polylines, whatever. Yeah. Energy 2 for displaying an image, which we'll get into, and yeah. So yeah, each UI element, whether a pane, layout pane, control shape, or image view, is a node in the scene graph. Okay. Layout panes help organize controls or shapes in a visually consistent manner. Controls let the user interact with the application, while shape and image views provide visual elements. Okay, and all these combine inside a scene, which ultimately gets placed on the stage. Okay. All right. So stages. Don't need to rehash on too much. Yeah. So JavaFX is a stage in JavaFX is the window, right? Like I was showing. Holds all the visual elements. Start already comes as with the default parameter, default stage as a parameter. Okay. And you can create multiple ones, multiple stages, which will just open up multiple windows. You can have a button that opens up another stage, whatever. Right. And so yeah, the scenes, right? Scene in JavaFX is the root of the scene graph, holds all the visual elements. Ba, 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 ba. So the scene manages the layout, rendering, and event dispatch for all child nodes. If you ever want to switch between different UIs, like a login screen and a main application screen, you'll typically switch scenes on the same stage or create additional stages. Okay. Let's try something. Where is my, there it is. Okay. Actually, let's hold off before we go to the code. Layout panes. So layout panes are specialized containers that automatically manage the size and positioning of their child nodes. Okay, so they'll help create responsive. Actually, hold on. Yeah, you know what? I will show you one thing before. Actually, no, never mind. Okay, yeah, layout panes create flexible, responsive UIs without manually calculating coordinates. All layout panes extend the base pane class, which provides fundamental methods such as get children or whatever for adding or retrieving child nodes. Okay, so pane, the base class for layout panes contains get child, right? Stack pane layers all children on top of each other, centered by default, commonly used for scenarios where you want overlapping nodes, right? Like a background image with text over it. Flow pane places nodes in a flow, either left to right, wrapping to the next line as needed, or top to bottom. This is ideal for creating like responsive row or column items that automatically wrap when there isn't enough space. Right, so you often see this used for toolbars, list of images, or any set of elements that need to flow right in a row or column. Grid pane, which is what I'm about to show you, organizes nodes in a two-dimensional grid of rows and columns. You specify row and column indices for each child, right? Or add them using convenient methods. And useful for form layouts where labels and fields need to line neatly. Okay. You have border pane, which divides the UI into 5 regions: top, bottom, top right, bottom left, and center. This is used for classic application layouts where you have like a menu bar at the top, status bar at the bottom, navigation on the left or right, and main content in the center. Okay, each region can contain only one node, which it can itself be a layout pane, right? Allowing for nested layouts. Okay. You have HBox, which lays out child nodes in a single horizontal row, automatically adjusting spacing if the window needs resized, unless you fix the size. And you'll use this for aligning buttons or text fields side by side. And VBox is similar to HBox, but arranges child nodes in a single vertical column, and it's great for stacking elements like labels, text fields, or buttons on top of each other. Right, useful for vertical menus, forms, or lists. Okay, all right. Okay, so we are gonna make a grid pane. So grid pane, we'll call it grid pane equals new grid pane. Okay. And actually, we're gonna create like a very simple. It's not gonna do anything yet. But we're gonna make kind of like a login screen thing. Okay. So we're gonna import java fx.scene.text.text, and we'll do email text here. We'll do new text, and we'll do new text. We'll do email. Okay. We'll do text. We'll do password text equals new text password. That works. And we'll do text. We'll create a text field now. Email field. Yeah, that works. It's new text field. And we will import java.scene.control text field. Okay. And we're gonna do we're actually gonna do a password field. There's a password field. And 1 second. Password field. Oop. Goals. New password field. Okay. So the password field is nice because it'll mask. It's a text field, right? That masks characters that are entered, right? So they won't be shown to the user or whatever, or anybody trying to peek, right? It only allows the user to enter a single line of unformatted text, so it doesn't allow multi-line input or anything like that. Okay. And we'll create, oops, we're going to create 2 buttons. We'll do button, submit button, and we will import java fx.scene.control.button, and we will do button, and we'll do yeah, cancel button works. Okay. Then we made our grid pane. We can do grid pane dot set min size. Okay, we'll do like 400 by 200. Okay. Add some comments here. We'll do password field is a text field that masks putted characters. Okay. And these ones are really gonna act as labels, right? And we're gonna create grid pane and setting size for the pane. And then we're also we're gonna do setting the padding, which we're gonna go grid pane dot set padding grid pane dot set padding. New sets, and we'll just do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 like that. Oop. We're gonna for the insets one, we're gonna do import Java fx.geometry.insets. Okay. Okay. Setting for vertical and horizontal gaps between the columns. Okay. So we're going to set a vertical and horizontal gap between the columns. We're going to do grid pane dot set the gap, and we're going to just do 5 on that one, and we're going to do 5 on the horizontal gap as well. Okay. And we can also set the alignment. And we'll do grid pane dot set alignment, and we'll do position dot center. And I think this one's also going to be import Java fx.geometry.position POS. Okay. Now, so we have our text fields, we have our password fields, we have our labels, we have our buttons, we have our grid pane kind of set up. Now we need to actually add those things to the grid pane. Okay. So we can arrange all the nodes in the grid. Okay. And yeah, if you remember, we are specifying the row and column indices for each child, right? So we're gonna put grid pane dot add email text, and we'll do that 0, 0. Grid pane dot add email field and 1, 0, right? We'll do that for the password text. Do 1, 1 for the password field, and then for the buttons, and just do submit button and 1, 2 for that button. Okay. So now they're all in there. So now they're all in the grid pane. And now we need to more or less assign or attach the pane to the scene. Okay. So we need to create a scene object, and this scene, we'll just call it scene, goes new scene, and it's going to take our grid pane, and we'll make it 400 by 300, and we'll import Java fx.scene.scene. Okay. Everybody with me so far? Anybody have any questions or anything, or is lost? Okay. All right. So we set the title. All right, and now we just need to add the scene to the stage. Okay. We'll do primary stage dot set scene and scene, and then this will display the contents of the stage. All right. I think we're all good. Let's give that a try. Okay. And here we go. We got our text field here, gmail.com, and then as you can see, type in here, it masks it like it should as a password. And we have our buttons that we can click, but they don't do anything, which is okay for now. We'll add stuff to do. We'll probably talk about that next class, because you got to talk about events and listeners and all this stuff for that. So our buttons are not going to do anything right now. Okay. Is anybody able to get to here? If you see, so everything's in the center here. Okay. This would be like 0, 0, right? 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2. Does anybody at the spot that I am or about to get there? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna assume you guys are all good and can get up to this point. Cool. All right. So let's close out of this. All right. So if you notice, it didn't look too great. I mean, it looked okay, but it's not gonna win any awards or anything. We can actually use CSS. Okay. With Java FX. So Java FX supports a CSS-based styling system similar to the, web development, the standard web CSS, cascading style sheets, right? And so it allows developers to separate UI design from application logic, making it easier to maintain and modify the look of an application. Okay. So why would you use CSS, right? So that's what I just told you. So you can, it's a little bit improves consistency and reusability, right? So you can define styles once and apply them across multiple UI components. You can easily change the UI components or UI appearance without altering Java code. And you can use CSS selectors to customize individual nodes or groups of nodes. Okay. And you can do this with an external style sheet, right? Which best practice is to keep styles in a dedicated .css file for easier organization and reusability. And you can also do it inline. You can set styles directly in code on individual nodes. And this is convenient for quick changes or small demos, but can become messy in larger applications. Okay. Java FX CSS follows a cascade model similar to the web CSS, where parent styles can propagate down to child nodes. The child node can override inherited styles if you specify a more specific style in the CSS. And the scene acts as the root of the style cascade, and anything added to the scene style sheet affects all nodes in that scene. Okay. Um, Cool. All right. So let me show you. So we're gonna get kind of to make it look something like that. Okay. So let's go over here. All right. We're gonna go to our button. We're gonna do our submit button, and we're gonna do set style. Okay. And quotes here. We're gonna make the FX background color. And that'll be, we're gonna make it a dark slate blue. Okay. And we're gonna do fx.text fill. Oops. Do that there. fx.text or dash text fill, and we're gonna make that white. Okay. And you can kind of see IntelliJ actually shows you the colors, which is kind of nice. So let's see what that looks like. See if that fixes anything. Okay, cool. Yeah, so our button's a different color here now. Okay, so let's do the same for a cancel button. Except we'll do this cancel button dot set style. We can also do our grid pane. Okay. So our grid pane. And we're gonna do set style again. And we're gonna do FX background color again. And we're gonna do like a beige. Okay. See what that looks like. Yeah, here we go. So you can kind of see it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a. We can find a different color. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know. Let's do something like that. You can put hex values here too. There's also some, values like this, constants that it has. We'll go with that. Okay, there you go. There's a different color. A little bit more easier to see the background. Okay. Super cool. Cool. What else? What else? What else? What else can we do? What else can we do? All right, so actually, we're gonna do new. We're gonna do I'm gonna do style sheet dot CSS. Okay. And we're gonna go email text here. We're gonna do email text dot set. No, that's not it. I think maybe it's label. We're gonna do import java.scene.control label. Just a new label. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe it's password text dot set. Ah, okay. There we go. We don't need to change it to a label. We're good. Okay, set ID, and we'll do password text here. We're gonna do this same thing, password or email text dot set ID. We'll do email text. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Cool. And then down out of the scene, when we create the scene, we're gonna do scene dot set, or no, we're gonna get style sheets. Style sheets. We're gonna add, and this is where you'll add your path to the thing. So we're gonna go here, copy path reference. We'll just do that. Okay. Add that there. Okay. And in our style sheet, so we can do, since we set IDs to them, we can do email text. And we can do fx dot font size. We'll do 16. And we'll do fx dot um, let's see. We can do. Well, let's just make this bigger. Oh, it should be good enough. We'll go like 24 on here. Okay. Run that, see what happens. Okay, that didn't like it. Let's see. See if I'm forgetting something maybe. Still not working. Oh. Says the style sheet's not found. That's weird. Um, Weird. Okay, well, I think it has something to do with.
Yeah, I'm getting the same error here where it can't find the sheet.
Yeah, I think it might. I think you have to. See. Let me try that one. Okay, well, I didn't get that error. Let's go back to. So I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, that's weird. But now it's working. Okay, so maybe if it's in the source or in the same folder as your thing, maybe you don't need to put anything else on there. I don't know. Might be just the way it's doing its deal. But anyways, yeah. All right, let's make that back to like 24. So yeah, if you just do stylesheet dot just yeah, stylesheet.css, it should work. Okay. Yeah, 24 looks good. So we're gonna go here, do password text. I'll do the same thing, 24. Did you get it working if you once you did it the way I did? Or once you did the fix that I had?
It's not giving me the error whenever I just put in the file name, but changes I'm making to the CSS file aren't actually affecting the program.
Do you have a ID set?
I believe so. Oh, yeah, I just realized they're not matching.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Cool. All right. 1 second. Okay. Cool. Any questions on what we've done so far? Yeah. Um. So yeah, you can either do it on individual things or you can add them to like a class to get like general ones. Like if we had a custom common button or whatever, do like dot common button, something like that. And if we went to our button, we can do submit button dot get style class dot add button. And so you can use the dot or the whatever to get like a whole class or get components that's there. It's just that you want to share the same style class. Okay. All right. Yeah, they were all good with there, honestly. All right. Back to the slides. Okay. Binding properties. Okay, so Java FX introduces the concept of binding properties to let one object's property, which would be the target, be linked directly to another's, which is the source. Okay, so whenever the source property changes, the target property updates automatically, eliminating the need for like manual listener code to keep values in sync. Okay. So yeah, why binding is useful is because you get those automatic updates. So if you had a variable like a text field's value or that needs to stay consistent with another, like a label or a computer result, the binding ensures that the changes are propagated instantly. Right. It reduces the leads to cleaner code because it reduces boilerplate of event listeners and manual synchronizations. It's kind of like a reactive programming approach, right? It encourages thinking in terms of data flows where one property depends on another. Okay. So the source object is the object whose property value you want to watch. And the target object is the property that's bound to the source. Automatically reflects changes in the source. Okay. You can have unidirectional binding, which changes in the source update the target, but not vice versa. And you have bidirectional, which changes in either property automatically update the other, right? So let's go here. here for now. Honestly, before we do that, we'll create simple binding. Okay, and we'll just do public static void main. Yeah, let's stop this actually. Current file. All right. We're gonna import two things for this. Import Java fx dot beans dot property dot double property, and import Java fx dot beans dot property dot simple. Okay, so those are our two imports. We're gonna do a double property. We'll call it D1, which is our new simple property. We'll put 1 in there, and we'll do the same thing there. And we'll do D1 dot bind to D2. Okay, I'll do system dot out dot print line. D1 is D1 dot get value, and D2 is book. And we'll do D2 dot set value. We'll do like 70.2. The D1 value is that. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's see what we got. That's weird. Oh, never mind. That's not weird. All right. Come on. There we go. All right. So yeah, program creates an instance of double property using simple double property. You have double property, float property, long property, integer property, boolean property. Those are all going to be abstract classes. Okay, and their concrete subclasses, right, are the simple double property or simple float, blah blah blah. You use those to create instances of these properties. Right, they're kind of like this wrapper classes that we talked about, like the double float, long, integer, and boolean. Except they just have additional features for binding. Okay, so the program binds D1 with D2. And so, yeah, they're all going to be the same here. And then after setting D2 to 70.2, D1 also becomes 70.2. Okay, so this is the unidirectional binding, right? And you could, like I said, sometimes it's useful to synchronize two properties, so a change in one property is reflected in another, and vice versa. And that's when you use the bidirectional binding. And you would do that with the bind directional method. Okay. So you'll see some common scenarios like keeping a slider position synced with a label or progress bar. Where binding is useful is keeping a slider's position synced with a label or progress bar, reflecting text field changes in a model property, or dynamically updating a UI control, like a button disable state based on a property, right? So to disable the button at the text field is empty or something like that, right? So benefits for like large applications is maintainability, right? So what changes in one part of the program automatically reflect in the UI or model without you hunting down each place to update. And then also for scalability, right? So as the application grows, it's easier to maintain or easier to manage complex data flows with binding them than with manual listeners or repeated set calls. Okay. So let me show you a little bit of got a little bit of a cooler demo. Okay. Okay. So our circle binding. So this is going to extend application. We're going to do a public. We're going to make a class inside our class. We're going to do public class. We're just going to do bindable circle. Okay. And this is going to be a private final double property. We'll call that center X. It's new. Equals new. Simple double property. Okay. And we'll do a public double get center X. We're just going to return center X dot get. Get. Public void set center X. So we're going to take in a double value. Do center X dot set value and then public double oops public double property center X property return center X. Yep, that works. All right. Cool. Now we got that. All right. We're gonna create our object here. So bindable circle object circle. Call that bindable circle. And then we're actually gonna use Java FX's circle shape, which we'll talk about a little bit more. We'll go ahead and import that. We're gonna do circle shape dot set radius, and that's gonna be shape dot set radius. It's gonna be 30. We're gonna do circle shape dot set fill, so we're gonna color it in. We're gonna do color dot we'll do yellow. Okay. And then we're gonna take a slider from Java.scene.control, call a slider, goes new slider, give it 0, 300, 150. Slider tick labels, well, make that true. Dot set tick marks true. Whoop. All right. Bindings. Okay. So we're gonna do bindable circle dot center X property. We're gonna do bind. We're gonna bind that with slider dot value property. Okay. And we're gonna circle shape dot center property, center X property. We're gonna bind that with bindable circle. That's center X property. We're gonna do circle shape dot set center Y 100. Okay. And we're gonna use a pane this time. New pane. We'll do circle shape. Make sure I have the right layout. We're gonna do pane dot set for size to 350 to 200. We're gonna do VBox. V box. Call it root equals new V box. We're gonna hold our slider. We're gonna hold our pane. Okay. We're gonna set some padding. We're gonna do root dot set alignment, and we'll do center again. All right. All right. We're good on there. Oop. Now let's do our scene. Scene. We're gonna do scene and we're gonna do our root. Import it, of course. And we'll just see. Primary stage dot set title. Find an example. Okay. And then last thing we need is to show it. All right. Let's see if this works. So if you see here, if I move the slider, actually, let me change this color. So it's yellow is weird to see. Okay. So if I move the slider, the circle moves as well. Okay. So yeah, the property methods like center X property, right, allows other code to bind to these properties. So if you bind a slider's value to center X property, the circle position updates automatically as the slider changes. So that's super cool. Okay. So Um, yeah. And the X property here, right? So that's crucial for binding because you bind to the property rather than just the raw value. Okay, so that's super important to have. Because you bind to the property rather than just the raw value. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna need, yeah, for each property you're gonna need a getter, a setter, and then a property getter. Okay. Yeah. And there's just kind of a general example, kind of the format of it, I guess. Okay. Don't know if I need to go too much into this. But the Java FX color class, so java.fx.paint.color represents a color defined by its red, green, blue, or RGB components, plus an optional alpha opacity value. Okay. So you have some constructors, right? The primary constructor is this right here. You can use color.color where you can create a color basically, right? And then what else? What else do I have to say? Color objects are immutable. So once created, you cannot change the components. If you need a new shade or different alpha value, you create another color instance. Okay. And so that'll just ensure thread safety and consistency when working with colors in multiple places. Okay. There's also methods for brighter and darker, making it so you can derive variations of a color without manual calculations, right? So you can use brighter to return a brighter version of the color, or darker that returns a darker version of the color. I think there's also a grayscale one, which converts it to just a shaded gray. Okay, and those will obviously create a new color object. Right. And you can, use those when you're setting the fill, right? Like just showed you, or the text fill. Okay, do that, or even the backgrounds. Yeah. You can use constants like the red, green, blue, whatever. I think you saw them show up for quick references to like common colors, or you can create your own or use more precise using RGB or whatever. I think also if you use like color.web, you can give it a hex value. So, yeah, not too much to say about that one. The font class. The font class comes from the javafx.scene.text package. Defines how text is rendered, right? Or more specifically, its font family, but also its size, its weight, and style. Every text-based controller or shape, like label, text button, can have a custom font applied to control its appearance. Okay. You have size, you have name, you have family. So the size of the height of the font, user space, right? So 12, 16, 20 points. The full name of the font. And then the family is the primary font family, like Arial or Times New Roman or whatever, right? And the name would be the full name of the font, like Arial Bold or whatever. You can create a font object, right? Create an object with the size. Creates a font using the specified family and size. Or the name. You have some get methods. Get family returns the base family. Blah blah blah. Pretty easy stuff there. So if we go back to here, let's go here. We'll do let's see. Go to email text dot set font. We'll do font dot font. And we'll do I think of one that's like unique. Anybody got any ideas? Let's see. Let's see if I can look up a list of fonts. Oh, we'll just do yeah, we'll just do that. Ba, 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 ba. We can make this font weight. We can make it bold. We can make it italic and give it a 20 something. Though it might get overwritten because we have the CSS thing. Where was that? Oh, no, nope. I think it worked. Cool. No, no. Yeah, we'll do that. And oh, just copy and paste that for password text. There you go. Let's make them a little bit bigger. Let's go like 30. Not that big. And we'll call that good on the fonts. Give me 1 second. Yeah. All right, last one that we're gonna talk about is the image class. And so image class, you can just add pictures. It's pretty, not much to it, honestly. You can set the height and width of it. You can create an image with contents loaded from a file or a URL. So let's see, I'm trying to find an image to input. Yeah. No, that's okay. I'll just skip it. But yeah, play around with it. Just look it up online. Just find a picture or whatever. You can set the height and width of it, and yeah. Getter methods for property values are provided in the class but omitted in the UML diagram for brevity. Cool. All right, what do I have next? Shapes. Actually, yeah. I think for the image one, I think in the book there's also some examples too, some example code you can use. It's like 557, I think, this page. If you wanted to play around with that. And yeah. So I already showed you one of the shapes. Java FX offers a variety of built-in shape classes for drawing basic geometric figures and text directly in the scene. These shape classes extend the shape class, which itself is a subclass of node. So that means they can be added to the scene graph just like any other UI control thing. So the common shape classes, you have line, which is a simple straight line defined by the start and the end coordinates. You have a rectangle, which is obviously a rectangle shape. The position and size via x, y, and width and height. Circle, which is defined by center coordinates and a radius. Ellipse, which is similar to a circle but has a separate radii for the x and y axis. Arc, segment of an ellipse or circle. Polygon, close shape with multiple xy points. Polyline, which is similar to a polygon but remains an open path, so it does not close automatically. You have texts. Conceptually, it's a text node, but inherits from shape. It can be styled or transformed like any shape. Okay. So let's see. We are just gonna go. Okay. And I'll show you an example of actually using the shape in a bit. Okay. All right. So last thing, I don't think these are in the book, but I thought it was kind of neat to do. So Java FX dialogues. So dialogues in Java FX are kind of cool. So it's a way to interact with users by displaying messages or prompting for input or presenting choices. Okay. There's a bunch of different ones. Through this java.scene.control package, right? So you can do alert type dot information, a warning or an error. And you can find some more examples. I put a little thing down there. Once I upload the PowerPoint, you can go click on that and look at some more examples of them. But I'll show you a couple here. So we go to our dialogue demo. Okay. All right, and I already got all the things. This is what you need to import. And in our start function, give me 1 second. Yep. So in our start function, we're gonna start off by creating a button, button. This new button. We'll just tell it to say click me. Okay. And this next part you don't have to really worry about. We'll worry about next one, but just for the demo, we're gonna make it clickable. So alert equals new alert, and we'll do alert dot alert type, and we'll do information. Alert dot set title. So the alert will bring up a new thing, right? And we could do set a title for it. Alert set header text. Okay. And alert show wait. Okay, so we'll talk more about the actions, the events in a bit, but main thing to worry about is just the alert and how to set up the alerts right here. Okay, we're gonna do a stack pane, call it root equals new stack pane. We'll add a button. And we'll do about 200 on here. Do primary stage dot set title. Primary stage dot set scene and primary stage show. Okay. So let's see how this works out. Okay, so we have a dialog box here. We can do whatever we want to it, extend it. And if we click it, see a dialog box come here. This is an information one, so you'll see here. I can go here and put error. And it'll look a little bit different. And not much different, but the little icon thing changes. And then we have like a warning one. Warning. Pretty much just is the same thing. And you get a warning. Okay. So those are cool to have in your pocket, I guess, if you need them. You can have a choice dialog, you can have an input dialog, you can have a confirmation one, whole bunch. And we'll probably get into these a little bit next week when we talk about events and stuff, event programming and stuff. But yeah. Okay, cool. All right. How are you guys feeling about all this stuff? Good. Cool. All right. Well, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, there's one more example, but it's from the book. Honestly, I don't know if you'll get much more out of it, but if you really want it, you can look at the book, or do you guys need me to go over it, or do you guys just want to get out of here?
Could you explain, I don't know how they're used, but it looks like you're using a lambda expression.
Yeah. What about them?
I've just never used them before.
Oh, yeah, they're hold on. Yeah, so trying to think of they're kind of like they're kind of like functional program. It's like a way to bring like Java or what's it called? Like functional programming, like a functional interface into Java, which is an object-oriented um, programming language, right? And so there's a couple ways that you can do error handling or event handling. And one of the ways is event driven programming. So if you see where to go. Yeah, so set on action or lambda expression E, use this kind of like arrow symbol, right? And then in here, we pretty much put a whole like function in there, right? And so, yeah, a lambda expression is a way of representing some function, right? It's a implementation for a functional interface, which is an interface containing exactly like one abstract method or something like that. They're introducing like Java 8 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a way to support like functional programming in Java.
Gotcha.
So, but they can be pretty good if you learn how to use them. Trying to think if I don't think we get into it. Maybe he gets into it next. Let's see. I'm looking at the next chapter. Yeah, it gets into it a little bit in the next chapter. So, let's see. Yeah, it helps with like simplifying Go too. Also, because here's what we can do instead. So we can do button dot set on action. And it would hold on. There you go. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, new event handler. Nope, that's not what I want. Action event. Action event. Go there. Override. Public void handle event action. I think I gotta import that. I don't know which one it is. Anyways, I don't remember what the exact import is. It's one of the two. But anyways, Puffy void input, blah blah blah, and then we can go copy and paste all that. What was that? And let me just comment this out. But you can already see that it's just easier to do it like this, where you just have this, and then you get to this stuff. But if you didn't use the lambdas, you have to do all that. So, yeah, they make things a lot easier. And let's see, why is that? I don't know why it's yelling at me, but maybe I need to do this. There we go. Okay. Okay. But yeah, see, just the problems I had with that already kind of shows how much more difficult it is to do it without using the lambdas. So yeah, they're pretty cool when you can use them. But I think yeah, we'll get into it a little bit more in the next chapter. So yeah, you guys won't have an assignment this week, but I'll probably have you guys an assignment next week. Once we do chapter 15, that'll kind of cover chapter 14 and 15. Yeah, next week I'm actually flying to Boston next week, so we might not have class. Still unsure. Just depends. I will let you know the day of though. But if we don't have class, we're looking at chapter 10 or chapter 15 on the 10th of April. We'll do 18 and 19 on the 17th. We'll do the 24th will be chapter 20. And then May 1st, we'll have kind of a review thing or whatever, just kind of, I don't know yet. And then on May 4th, I'll give you guys I'll release your final for you guys, and then you'll have until May 8th at 11:59 p.m. to finish your final. Okay, and I'm still unsure if I want to make it. I might make it a project instead of a coding project instead of exam. Would you guys rather have that instead of an exam? I'm assuming you guys would want a project instead.
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I like that idea
Cool.
too.
cool. So yeah, that's kind of the rough outline for the rest of the semester. Cool. Alrighty then. Yeah, and then I'll see if I can come up with a project that kind of incorporates all the stuff that we talked about in the class. And yeah. So no quiz, no homework today. Next week you guys might have something. We'll see. Or you'll have a like an assignment or like a mini project for sure. That incorporates 14 and 15, but I don't know about a quiz yet. But yeah. If you guys don't have any other questions, you guys will have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a nice night.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Yep. Have a good one.